November is all about intensity. Being that we're in Scorpio season, it's all about death and rebirth, endings that bring forth new beginnings. This can be rather unjarring and unsettling because Scorpio season requires us to confront our demons, to get deep and intense and dive deep under the surface to uncover things that we may have stowed away for a long, long time. For you, Taurus, November is all about your relationships. Can your relationships really stand the test of time? Are they real, as in real and intense and true and authentic? Or are they just superficial and cute? That is what November is going to ask of you. So with that being said, let's dive deep and get into it. What's up, Taurus? I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. As always, my name is Mel and welcome to my channel, Divine Feminine Works. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, and spirituality. So if those are the things that interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, Taurus, welcome to November. I hope so far that this month has been treating you well, that it hasn't been too intense, and that you're sort of going with the flow of things. As I mentioned in my intro, Scorpio season is all about intensity. It's all about death and rebirth. And these are topics that a lot of us don't like to confront. A lot of times there is this negative connotation with respect to endings or to death. But trust and believe, although death in and of itself is uncomfortable and a topic that we don't like to dwell on, it is a necessary part of the life cycle, and it always ushers in rebirth. There's never anything that is truly lost. Anytime we experience an ending, it is just a precursor to a new beginning. And that is really what November has been about. I just did a video the other day on the new moon in Scorpio. I will put the link to that somewhere so you guys can catch that. But the message is not just for the new moon. I feel like the message is so symbolic of what November is all about. And it's really about letting certain things die. Although the new moon is about new beginnings, it's about planting new seeds, this new moon was really about endings and acknowledging those endings so that we can have a fresh start and a clean slate in order to plant new seeds, very fertile seeds that will really grow into the things we want to manifest in our lives. But I am getting ahead of myself, so let's get into the astrology of the month for you, Taurus, and see exactly what's going on. So for you guys, there's a real emphasis on relationships this month because the sun is in the sign of Scorpio. We've also had a new moon in the sign of Scorpio. We've got Venus and Mercury in Scorpio. So there's a heavy emphasis on your 7th house of relationships. Now, relationships are very important, not just for the fact that we all want a partner in life. And by relationships, I don't mean just romantic. 7th house covers things that we bind ourselves to. So even if you are in contract with someone in a business setting, that is also covered under the 7th house. So it's our one-to-one relationships, our interpersonal relationships that are the emphasis for you this month, Taurus. So that being said, Scorpio season is all about getting to the heart of the matter. Scorpio in and of itself as a sign is a bit messy in the sense that it deals with a lot of complex things, when you're diving underneath the surface, when you're really getting to the heart of the matter, a lot of times that can be messy, it can be mucky and all of that. And so when it comes to relationships generally, Taurus, you guys love substance. You guys need substance. You need a real relationship, nothing that's superficial or cute or just, something for the time being. You want something real, authentic, deep, and intense. And this is sort of what you're examining during this Scorpio season. Which relationships around you really fall in line and align with that sort of ideology? Meaning, do you have relationships that are just acquaintanceships, like people that you hang out with maybe when you're partying, maybe when you're doing social activities, but they're not someone that you can really come to when you have a problem or talk about substantive issues, and instead maybe you just talk about the latest episode of Real Housewives or gossip or any other low vibrational stuff? I feel like Scorpio season is all about examining those relationships and cleaning house. Those relationships that don't align with where you are or where you're trying to go, maybe they need to go. Maybe they need to be severed. Maybe that is the ending. That is the death. Of course, I don't mean this literally. That could be the ending that is pertinent to you this month. Also, we've got Mercury and Venus in Scorpio for majority of the month. Mercury had turned direct at the very beginning of the month, so we don't have that Mercury retrograde energy that's sort of fucking things up. And again, with this being in the sign of Scorpio and Scorpio being your 7th house, Taurus, there's a lot of emphasis on how you communicate with your partners. Again, it's all about substance. It's all about depth. It's all about getting to the heart of the matter. There may be certain heart-to-heart conversations that you need to have with your partners, whether they be business or personal this month. This would be the best time to do it because we've got Mercury in the sign of Scorpio in your relationship sector. So keep that in mind. With Venus also in your 7th house, there's an emphasis on equality, harmony within relationships, but also a heavy emphasis on value and attraction. Those are all things that sort of fall under the purview of Venus. So again, with this being in the sign of Scorpio, it's about valuing depth. It's about valuing authenticity. It's about valuing realness. And you have this undercurrent of intense emotions as well because Scorpio is a water sign. So it's like the best phrase for Scorpio is still waters run deep. So there's a lot underneath the surface that this month you guys feel like communicating. It's not just about the regular, everyday, regular kind of conversations. This month you guys are going to want to feel like, listen, I may want to bare my soul to you. I want to put my cards out on the table and really make sense of what I'm feeling and to see if you feel the same way, if we're vibing on the same wavelength or if we're not. If we're not, then maybe it's time that we sever ties, that we end this so that I can find a relationship that really vibes with who I am and where I'm going. That could be that could be how this plays out for a lot of you this month. So we've got that. And then by the end of the month, actually coming up this weekend, the sun is going to move into the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius governs your 8th house. 8th house is all about intimacy. It's all about shared resources. And it's all about transformation. So it's almost like you're taking the information that you're learning during Scorpio season, right, as it pertains to your relationships. And now it's like you're going to branch out. Perhaps there are some relationships that are ending, there may be certain aspects of relationships that are ending, and now you can go forward and sort of explore. Now that you've gotten those emotions out on the table, now that you've spoken your truth, that's another characteristic of Mercury in Scorpio, is about speaking the truth. Scorpio is also about jealousy, obsession, and things of that nature. So when we're talking about relationships, if you're experiencing these things within your relationships, maybe it's time to really take a good look at them and see if that's really healthy for you, if that's something that you need in relationships. Regardless, back to what I was saying before, you're taking this information that you're gaining from Scorpio season and now you're going to use it. You're going to apply it in the real world and explore. It's like now you have this new set of values. Again, with Venus and Scorpio, with relationships, you're learning and you're discovering what you value in relationships. With that information, you're going to go forth and you're going to explore. You're going to try to connect with people who share that same, same value system, same viewpoint, etc. And that is sort of going to be the essence of Sagittarius season. But we'll get more into Sagittarius season when we get into Sagittarius season next month. But again, this for you, November is all about relationships, and it's all about the value you place on them, speaking your truth and figuring out what's what. So one of the gold star days of November was, since I'm filming this after the fact, November 12th, when we had a powerful conjunction between Pluto and Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn. If you've watched any of my other videos, I've been talking about this conjunction in Capricorn for a minute. It's a conjunction between Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, and it's what's responsible for all of the craziness that we're experiencing in our personal lives and in the world, at large. And on the 12th, Pluto and Jupiter were exactly conjunct at 22 degrees. Now, why does this matter? When you have an exact conjunction, it's like the energy is super powerful. And those two planets being conjunct was a very fortuitous sort of energy. Jupiter, all planets are now direct now. All three of those planets are direct. And when Jupiter and Pluto come together, it's sort of this amplification of good stuff, amplification of positive energy. And with the presence of Saturn in that vicinity, it's like abundance and positive energy and prosperity and all of that good stuff that's meant to last. Now, the thing is that now that with Pluto in the mix, it's this energy of abundance, it's this energy of prosperity, but it's located in a place where you would least likely expect it. It's almost like hidden treasure. Think about like Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, or any sort of pirate narrative. It's like they're always looking for hidden treasure, right? And where is it? It's usually at the bottom of the ocean. It's at some obscure place. That is sort of the energy of Pluto conjunct Jupiter. So again, and this is so important and appropriate given that we're in Scorpio season, because Scorpio is all about getting to the heart of the matter, right? Scorpio, think about Scorpio as like deep sea diving, getting to the bottom of the ocean. That is where you're going to find your treasure. And that is where this Pluto and Jupiter conjunction sort of happens. Think about diamonds in the rough. Diamonds are extremely valuable, very beautiful, depending on your taste. But they're made of earth matter, pressurized earth matter, right? So if you were to look at earth matter before it transforms into a diamond, it just looks like earth. It looks like coal or whatever it is. But under pressure, right, it forms into something beautiful, valuable, and a treasure. And that is the energy that we have working with us. So a lot of people don't like diving deep, especially when we're talking about emotions. It can be very painful. It can be very uncomfortable. But that is where you're going to find your hidden gem. That is where you're going to find your hidden treasure. And this energy is available to us throughout the month of November. So keep that in mind. If there are emotions that you've swept under the rug, especially as it relates to relationships, because remember, Taurus, that is where the focus is for you this month. If there are things that you have left unaddressed, things that you haven't really put out on the table, you really should do that this month. Doing shadow work this month, really getting to the bottom of old emotional wounds is really going to help you this month. I cannot stress that enough. So keep that in mind as you move throughout November and as you interact with people, because again, this is affecting your relationship house. So keep that in mind. The next important thing is that Mars finally went direct on November 13th. And this energy, this Martian energy, is what has been providing a lot of frustration for many of us. For you, Taurus, Mars is in your 12th house. 12th house is all about solitude. It's all about, confinement, spirituality in a sense. And there may have been things, it's also the house of hidden enemies. There may have been things related to your spirituality that you wanted to sort of get off the ground, maybe things that you wanted to initiate that you just couldn't when Mars was retrograde, because the energy just wasn't available for that. And it was really frustrating, right? But finally, Mars went direct on November 13th. So now it's like Mars is going to be revving up. So you're going to see perhaps a lot more 12th house activity. 12th house includes philanthropy. So it includes charity work. It includes work at like hospitals, institutions, jails, things like that. It's also the house of solitude, rest, and relaxation. I know some other, Taurus rising people who have had, like, the last 2 months have been horrible in terms of sleep. Their sleep schedule is sort of all over the place. They're not sleeping well. They may even be having like weird dreams and nightmares. So you may experience a change in your sleep pattern now that Mars has gone direct. But in any event, Mars is full steam ahead, and it will remain in your 12th house for the remainder of the month and into December. It's one of the longest times that Mars has remained in a sign, because Mars moves relatively quickly as compared to the other planets. So it's been in this house for a minute. It's actually been in your 12th house back since June. So it's spending a full 6 months from June until December in your 12th house. And then after that, it will transition into your first house, which should be great. So that is Mars going direct. And then finally, on the 30th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Gemini. So if you watch any of my October videos, you remember, or you should remember, that I said that November and December are going to be intense because we've got eclipses. We've got this full moon lunar eclipse this month on the 30th. And then in December, we have a new moon solar eclipse. And eclipses are like, it's like moon energy on steroids. Very intense. A lot of times people, ancient civilizations used to fear eclipses because of the sheer power that they hold and that they exude. You'll see a lot of people in the spiritual community who are like, yeah, don't do any moon rituals during an eclipse because the energy is so intense and it's so all over the place. And the point of eclipses, rather than just being intense for no reason, the point of eclipses is so that things can be moved around in your life, right? In order for you to have what it is that you want, in order for things to sort of be where they're supposed to be. A lot of times we don't have the strength, the willpower, or whatever to move things out or to usher things in. So Spirit does it for us via eclipses. Now, this eclipse is a full moon lunar eclipse, and I'll put a link to my blog post about the moon and its phases so you can really understand what a full moon is. But during a full moon, the moon is obviously full, so it's completely lit up. You can see it clear as day in the sky, and it illuminates things. It either shows you the culmination of things you've been working on since the previous new moon. So it would have been 6 months ago. So the new moon in Gemini, right? That happened back in May. If you planted seeds, if you set intentions around that time, then you may see the culmination of those seeds during this full moon lunar eclipse. On the other hand, eclipses really uncover things. They illuminate things that may have been in the dark, which can always be a little unsettling, hence why full moons carry so much emotion. Full moon lunar eclipses are meant to eclipse things out of your life, right? So something that is not working, something that's not in alignment will be eclipsed. And it all depends on where it's falling in your chart. For you, Taurus, this is happening in your second house of finances and material possessions. Things that you value. So there may be some happening. There may be some situation where your money is affected. Either now, maybe you planted seeds 6 months ago in order to save for a big ticket item, and now you'll be able to finally purchase it. Maybe you wanted a new stream of income, and now you're going to see that it's really starting to work for you. On the other hand, you may have some sort of situation that negatively affects your money. Perhaps there's a bill that comes from out of nowhere, or perhaps you have an income stream that suddenly ends. Whatever it is, if it ends, if it becomes uncovered and it's not a good thing and you realize that you have to scrap it, that in itself is a good thing, because now you have the room to manifest something better and something that's more in alignment with who you are and where you're going. So keep that in mind. And that is happening on November 30th. And again, it's happening in your second house of money and material possessions. All right, Taurus, so that has been the astro forecast for November. If you want a full astro forecast, complete with transits and information on your ruling planet, check out the description box because I'm going to put a link to the November 2020 horoscopes where you can read for your sun, moon, and rising sign and get everything you need to know for the month so you'll be prepared. So again, I'll put that link in the description box below, so don't forget to check that out. So now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, so first card out is codependency. Again, you've got that emphasis on your 7th house. So there may be some relationships that need to go because they are like riddled with codependency. Again, since Scorpio is your 7th house, you guys like naturally want substantive relationships. You guys want relationships that are deep and intense, nothing superficial. And perhaps some of you may not be experiencing that right now because you've got this codependent situation with someone who, I'm feeling like it's someone who doesn't have that much depth, or your relationship doesn't have that much depth. So you need, I feel like what your challenge is this month is to find the key to unlock these handcuffs. Like that's your job, is to find the key to unlock these handcuffs so that you can free yourself of this and go to a relationship, or have a relationship comes in that actually makes sense for you and that's in alignment with you. Okay, we've got gratitude. And what does this say? It says, I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We all need to practice gratitude, right? But this is giving me, maybe this is just me, but this reminds me of a yoni. It really does. And it's talking, obviously, yoni is where babies come from, right? Well, yes, that's where babies come out of. But it's speaking a lot to me about creation and being grateful for what you have created, or being grateful for the ability to create. I think that what this is trying to say, or what Spirit is trying to say, is that practicing gratitude is going to help you. First of all, it'll help you with your heart chakra, because if you notice this green right here, the predominantly green color is speaking heart chakra energy to me. I feel like it's going to help you tap into your heart chakra, help you tap into the things that you're passionate about, the things that you love, so that you can create more of that in your life. I feel like for you guys, practicing gratitude, I mean, we all need to practice gratitude. This isn't something that is just limited to you, Taurus, but I feel like specifically this month, there's some gratitude work that you should be doing that I think will really help you in terms of creativity. Look at this. You can't even make this up. We have rebirth. Wasn't I just talking about birth with this yoni right here? Yeah. I mean, this is so apropos for Scorpio season generally, right? Because Scorpio season is all about death and rebirth. But there is something that needs to die. And I really feel like it has to do with this relationship that is codependent. Something has to die in order for something to be reborn. And given the fact that we have the rebirth card here, I feel like something has already died in a sense. So I don't feel like you have an ending that's coming up. I feel like you guys have an ending that has already occurred. So many of you may have broken free of this relationship. For some of you, although it says codependency, I feel like codependency would be like attachment, right? Some of you were attached to something that really was not of your highest good. Y'all were in some kind of relationship or some sort of contractual situation that really wasn't good for you. And I feel like that has ended. Very recently that has ended. And now you're at this stage of rebirth. Now it's time for newness. Now it's time to plant new seeds. We've got truth be told. This card has been coming up a lot over the last few months for almost everybody, because there's a certain amount of authenticity that needs to occur. And again, being that you have a heavy 7th house emphasis, I feel like this is the truth about a particular relationship or contractual agreement that is coming to light. It's like, look at how the window is wide open and the mask is off. And being that it's an owl that's holding this, there is a certain wisdom gained from this truth that has finally been told, that has finally been aired out, that has finally been put on the table. This is the information that you're going to use. This is the information you're gaining during Scorpio season that you're going to use and implement during Sagittarius season, when you sort of spread your wings, broaden your horizons, and search for the truth like outside of where you are. We have the Mountain. Now, the Mountain speaks of obstacles. It speaks of roadblocks in your way. But I feel like these roadblocks were necessary. There's something... Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. This is what they're giving me right now. Perhaps you were in a relationship with someone and you really wanted to take it to the next level. You either wanted to move in together, get married, get engaged, you know, any of that stuff. But it wasn't like you were meeting roadblocks when it came to that. It's like you and your partner weren't on the same page. Like it just wasn't happening. And I feel like that was by design. It's by design. I feel like this mountain was put in your way on purpose so that you could realize the truth. Because if this mountain wasn't there, you wouldn't realize the truth. The truth will not have been exposed to you. And therefore, you would have stayed in this relationship. So whatever obstacles you've been encountering, whatever roadblocks you've been encountering, it was by design. It was meant to happen. It was meant to impede your forward moving progress, because that's the only way that the truth would have come out. And then finally, we've got look for a sign. Talking about this rebirth, right? There's always, I find, and I'm about to go on a little slight tangent, I find that there's always this emphasis on doing rituals for the moon phases, like doing a full moon ritual, doing a new moon ritual. And I feel like you don't have to do a ritual every new moon or every full moon, right? You should do it as you are guided to do it. Some moons, you're kind of just meant to sit out. You're kind of just meant to let it pass. Others, you're meant to actively do something. And I feel like this new moon this new moon that just happened in the sign of Scorpio, right? I think that it has brought, or very soon will bring, a very clear sign. Look at that lightning bolt that he is holding. It's like something is really going to almost smack you in the face, I'm hearing. And not even just about the relationship. Like I said, I feel like you guys already experienced an ending with this relationship. I feel like this sign that's coming is going to be a sign of rebirth. You're going to get some sort of clue. And I'm here, like, it's like a neon sign. It's something you really can't miss. You're going to get a very clear sign of where you're headed or what's to come. And I feel like it's going to pleasantly surprise you. It's going to be so clear as day that you're going to be like, whoa, holy shit. And it's going to bring a smile to your face. So even though it says look for a sign, I don't even think you need to look for it. I think you just need to just go about your business. But you are going to get a clear sign of where you are headed. All right, let's get into the tarot. Taurus for November 2020. All right, we've got the Emperor. We've got the Daughter of Cups. We've got the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, get 2 more. That's 1, that's 2. All right, we've got the Ace of Swords. And there is the Daughter of Swords. Okay. Right off the bat, I'm hearing you need to speak your truth. Or the truth needs to be told. Some of you are dealing with an Aries. And this Aries has been, at the bottom of the deck, we've got the 3 of Swords. So there has been some hurtful words or actions that have caused heartbreak. Some of you are dealing with an Aries. If you're not dealing with an Aries, you're dealing with someone that's got heavy fire placement in their chart, or there's someone who's very like calculating, someone who's very strategic. They could be a business owner. They could be some sort of a boss. They could be the head of an organization. But this person has been less than honest with you. Less than honest. And I feel like rather than confront the issues that you've been experiencing, Taurus, I feel like a lot of you have just sort of turned a blind eye to it. You've been focused on the fact that you have a relationship rather than the substance of a relationship. And what did I say before about Scorpio season, particularly the sun being in your 7th house of relationships? It's all about substance. At the very core of you, Taurus, you like relationships, or you need relationships that are substantive, that are real. Someone you can talk to about anything. Someone who you don't have to feel like you can impress. You can show up as your authentic self and they love you nonetheless, right? But that's not what you've been experiencing. You've been experiencing someone who's, and this Emperor, this Aries person, I feel like they put on a really good front, but behind the scenes, like it's just not, they're not who they say they are, or they don't portray the life that they are like pretending to portray. This person is deceptive. Like they look great in public, but like, it's almost like I was saying before, like you don't want anything superficial, right? So I feel like this person on the surface, they are very good looking, well put together. They run shit, right? But underneath, they've got so much darkness underneath that they haven't addressed. They haven't addressed it. And so it's now time for the truth to be told. And again, there's going to be this obstacle put in your way in order for the truth to come out. Most definitely. And I feel like in this relationship, you guys haven't really, like, when it comes to emotions, either you or this person are very, like, immature. Like, emotionally immature. You're learning about your emotions, you know, you sort of scratch the surface. See how she's just looking at this cup like she just discovered it. But there's so much under the surface that needs to be addressed that hasn't been addressed. Okay. I'm going to find out who this Emperor is. Who's this Emperor? This says martyr. Not sure if you can see that. So it says, the light attribute of this person is that they're learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. So someone who is willing to help other people. But the shadow attribute is that their addiction to self-pity. So this person could always play the victim. They always have some sort of pity party. Like, they really do want to help others in a profound way, but it sometimes it comes at the cost of their ego. They can be very egotistical when it comes to helping people. So that could be how this person is. Let's get some more cards on the Emperor. We've got 3 of Shields. So I feel like this person entertains other people. They definitely entertain other people. Perhaps they may be involved with someone that they work with, or they're not being forthright about their relationship with a coworker or someone that they work with. But I feel like I hate using the phrase third party situation because I feel like a lot of readers overuse it. But I do see that in this particular situation, particularly with the 3 of Swords. This person isn't loyal. They're not faithful. And I feel like they may say like, oh, this person just helps me out, or I just help them out. It's not a big deal. When in reality, they're like, I feel like they're involved with this person. At least in a way that would not be respectful to you, or vice versa. Take this however it resonates. Let's see. Let's get more into this Seven of Swords. Yeah, we've got the Five of Swords. So yeah, so they're just, and they're selfish. It's really all about them and what they want. They're not, like I said, on the surface, this person may seem very helpful and like they really want to help people, but I really feel like it comes from a place of like selfishness. They're very selfish. They don't care who they hurt. They just want what they want when they want it, and, you know, fuck everybody else. And I feel like you're either going to get a sign about this, or this has already come to light and it's time for you to move on. And perhaps this is the obstacle that hasn't allowed you to move to the next level, because how can you build a relationship of substance with someone when they're not being truthful to you? All right, let's get one on the Daughter of Cups. All right, we've got the King of Cups. Interesting. I feel like this situation is going to force you to become more emotionally mature. Look at this card. She is holding this cup. You can see the water in the background. It's almost like she's becoming acquainted with her emotions, learning about her emotions. Meanwhile, this guy, first of all, I love that he's got his dick out, side note, but he is all up in the water. He's comfortable with his emotions. He knows how to handle his emotions. I feel like that is the lesson that you are learning with this. See, remember I talked about Scorpio season. It's like deep sea diving into the ocean, right? This person is deep sea diving. That is what you are learning with. That's what you're learning this month with Scorpio season. It's about getting to the heart of the matter. And the information that you're going to gain that you can use going forward is that when it comes to relationships, you really have to dig underneath the surface. You really need to figure out what's really going on. Where is this person's heart? Is it with you, or is it just for themselves? Are they just out for self? Are they truthful? Are they honest? These are the things that This is the thing that Scorpio season is teaching you right now. All right, let's get one on this Ace of Swords, because the truth is going to come out regardless. It's really going to come out regardless. So what is this truth? Oof. Look at that. We've got the Ace of Swords again. So we've got the Ace of Swords on the Ace of Swords. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, karma is coming to bite somebody in their fucking ass right now. What goes up must come down. And I feel like the truth is coming out by divine intervention and divine timing. And again, like I said with this mountain is being placed in your way by design. This isn't just some sort of random obstacle or random, roadblock. This is by design so that the truth can come out. And yeah, karma is going to come to bite somebody in their ass. I hope it's not you. I really hope it's not you. But whoever is doing this shady shit, yeah, they about to get theirs. Let's just say that. All right. And here we've got strength. And this is on the Two of Pentacles. There is, some of you could be getting some, like, you know how it says look for a sign? Some of y'all could be approached by a Leo about what's going on. For some of you, this could be like the other woman or man, take it as it resonates, actually coming and telling you, yeah, this is what's been going on. For others of you, this just lets me know that being in a codependent relationship, right? It's almost like you're in a position of weakness. Your strength is going to come from really getting to the bottom of the situation. And I feel like, remember how I said Pluto conjunct to Jupiter is all about hidden gems, right? It's in this deep water that you are ignoring, these deep emotions that you are ignoring, where you are going to find not only your strength, but your treasure. It's really important that you remember that. All right, let's get one on the Daughter of Swords. Oof, that is way too many. But we'll take this one. Okay, this is rebirth. This is the Judgment card. You've gotten rebirth twice here. You've gotten rebirth twice. I'm hearing for some of you, once this truth comes to light and you guys are actually able to communicate and speak your truth. Remember, I said that Mercury is also in your 7th house. It's about finding your voice and speaking your truth. When you do that, I feel like it either gives this current relationship a rebirth, although I don't know if this is a relationship that you want to continue, or it's going to give you the key to unlock these handcuffs, to set yourself free so you can have this rebirth. But the key to all of this is speaking your truth. The key to all of this is using your voice. Use Mercury to your advantage this month and say what you gotta say. Get it off your chest. Nothing superficial, nothing cutesy. Say what's really in your mind, what's really on your mind, what's really in your heart, because it's going to help you unlock and unhinge yourself from this codependent relationship. All right, let's get 3 astrology cards to close out the reading. Okay, we've got opposition. Oops. We've got ascendant. Let's get one more. And we've got Chiron. Okay, so your ascendant is Taurus, and the ascendant is all about you. It's about your attitude. It's about your point of view. And Chiron is about healing. For a lot of you, you really need to express your point of view right now. You need to express yourself. There may be some opposition this month that is important. I want to see if there's an opposition with respect to your 7th house. The only other opposition is going to be at the full moon lunar eclipse, and that's going to be in your 2nd house and your 8th house, between Gemini and Sagittarius. But I also feel like this speaks to the opposition that you're experiencing within this relationship. Again, it's about using your voice. It's about speaking your piece, speaking your truth, and getting to the heart of this matter, because there's a lot going on underneath the surface that neither you nor your partner are addressing, and that need to be addressed. And I feel like that's where you're going to find healing. That's where you're going to find strength. And that is where you're going to find your hidden treasure. All right, Taurus, that has been your astro forecast and horoscope for the month of November 2020. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. If you would like to book a personal reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Divine Feminine Works. Every week I do a series called The Week Ahead, where I do a quick and dirty tarot read, as well as a quick and dirty astro forecast for the upcoming week. So don't forget to follow me there so you don't miss any of that. As always, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. Taurus, if you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, that link is in the description box as well. Taurus, as always, it is a privilege and an honor to read for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.